Hello and welcome to day 20, 10 days after 10 more days. I can stop counting. I stopped putting the numbers on the videos because I want to make them more about the whole idea of this video challenge is to grow and to find a place where I'm making videos and where I feel comfortable and it feels right. So I hope you enjoyed the Tarot by the Sea if you've seen it, which I uploaded. You didn't upload it until this morning, but it would have been last night in most people's time. And it was a very quick video. I had to finish it quickly. I was in this driftwood hut by the sea, and I kind of got invaded, and my phone battery was dying. But I got amazing cards. I just don't believe it. The card I drew out of the Ad Orbiter was this Queen of Cups. The Queen of Cups is water of water, and of all the days today, I had a feeling when I got up this morning. Actually, it started last night. I wanted to do something a bit different, and it was forecast to be a bit overcast, which is good for photography. So I thought, right, okay, I'll go down to the sea this morning, and then I needed to ring my sister, so I did that. But we were on the phone for ages, and then the sun got too bright and high in the sky, and it was huge shadows, and I found this driftwood hut that I go in sometimes, and I went in there and tried to record. It was very precarious, trying to hold a tripod and everything. And then the battery was nearly flat, and I got invaded by, there was someone climbing on the hut and that, and we go, oh no, they didn't know I was in there, and they got a bit of a surprise. I think they thought I was some kind of weird old witch or something, but I got outed as a vlogger. Like, oh, are you vlogging? Anyway, Queen of Cups. Before I do, I want to talk a lot about the House card, and I want to talk a lot about the Queen of Cups. But before I do that, I'm going to do today's card because I haven't done it yet. Over here, it's getting later in the day. It's an evening of the 20th today. So we are about to move into Libra. I have no air in my natal chart. I have an awful lot of water, which is the Queen of Cups. I know that card very, very well. The Queen of Cups is water of water, because queens are the water um, representatives of the court, and the cups are obviously water too. The Queen of Cups rules the last decan of Gemini and the first two decans of Cancer, but the Moon rules us all. So, and she's very much associated with the Moon. Oh, I've got to put her back in the deck. I brought out a few different Queens of Cups that I really like, and there's a lot of, they kind of talk about mothering, but she's not quite like the Empress energy. She's kind of a combination of the High Priestess and the Empress, I think. But there's a lot of depth, and she's not very earthly. And I relate to her very, very strongly because of the head in the clouds or head in the puddle kind of thing. That kind of, the poem in this book was, I think, really good. And it talked about the banal, and that really made me see how I relate to the Queen of Cups through that being kind of a bit ethereal and not really comfortable in this world on this plane and not quite at home. And I talk about other, and I have felt other all my life. And part of it, I guess, is being autistic, but I think, I don't know, I just feel not to explain. Right, today is the 20th of Shackleton Enough. Oh, this morning I dropped those cards. I haven't actually counted them to make sure they're all there, but I will. I didn't see them all there because the rocks, and it's a very rocky beach. It's a boulder bank, a natural phenomenon actually. There's only a couple of boulder banks in the world. Well, it goes on to the boulder bank. It's not actually the boulder bank, but it's the beginning of the boulder. And there's only one in Japan. I walk it it's quite hard to walk on the boulders, but dropping a deck of cards in that driftwood hut was really hard. Say going down all the cracks and one, and it's raining. All right, today we've got the King of Swords. So we've gone from the Queen of Cups, the Water in Water, to the King of Swords, who will be air in air. It's the King's of Air, Swords of Air of Air. He's the first two decans of Aquarius, so he'll be the last decan of Capricorn. So there we are. Looks like a comet with the tails. Let's see what the book says about the King of Swords. So he's like the intellectual, the librarian of the tarot, maybe. Quite, the King asteroid covets partnership and also possession. It is aware of all orbits both near and in stars, so it seeks out connection and fears all the scars. The King asteroid covets partnership and also possession. It is aware of all orbits both near and in stars, so it seeks out connection and fears all the scars. Okay, well that kind of makes sense. orbits, like what's going on around him, maybe history, connection, and the scars. I know a lot of King of Swords people, there is that possessive nature and that need to rule. I think this means they do want connection, but they fear the scars, and the scars, in my experience, are their own scars, and having them exposed in that relationship, in that connection, is what holds them apart. So they want to possess this thing, but they don't want to get too close. So that's my own interpretation from having met King of Swords people. But I've got here, because I was looking at the Queen of Cups, I have got the Robert Place books. I'm going to see what he says about it. This is a really good book, The History, Symbolism and Divination. I can't find my Robert Place tarot deck. So he says about the King of Swords. The king is the master of his element, which is air. The landscape has become calmer and two birds in the sky glide on a gentle breeze. The back of the king's throne is decorated with sylphs in their butterfly form and in the more evolved form of fairies. The king's crown has a cherub across it like a band. These evolved forms of air spirits are symbolic of the king's highly involved intellect. The winged human images connecting with Aquarius, the air sign, and with the man, the symbol of St. Matthew on the word card. He holds his sword upright and is positive about his decision. This card represents Aquarian qualities such as analytical intelligence, decisiveness, and independent authority. He doesn't say really much about the King of Swords, how I see the King of Swords. Have I got anything else here? I've written a whole essay about the King of Swords somewhere. So in the tarot and astrology, yeah, he is. I was right. He's the intellectual determination of fixed air. The King of Swords, the ruler of air, is a powerful, authoritative commander who makes decisions based on solid logic and intellectual prowess. Elementally, the four kings of the tarot are airy intellectuals. They simply combine the element of air with the corresponding element of their own suit. In that regard, the King of Swords embodies the rarefied combination of air and air. Clearly, he's assertive and alert. He can even be aggressive. He guards his kingdom with passion and force, and he's not afraid to make arbitrary decisions. He is willing and able to defend his realm and dispense justice in accordance with his rule. He is forward-thinking, determined, and idealistic. In other words, the King of Swords can be a firm friend or a vengeful enemy. That's definitely true too. The King of Swords also represents the fixed air sign of Aquarius, which makes him a forward-thinking, socially conscious monarch. Like his major arcana counterpart, the Star, he's ethereal. From his position high in the sky, he can see the big picture. And that's probably what that rule relates to, I guess, as well in that poem. And like Aquarius ruling planet Uranus, he can overturn old ways of thinking and establish new institutions that better serve the needs of his kingdom. Well, I don't actually agree with that always, in my experience. He rules the third decan of Capricorn and the first two decans of Aquarius. In a natural horoscope, his primary domain is the 11th house of social groups and causes. My King of Swords experience is a little bit different, and I have written, I'm going to have to find my writings on the King of Swords, because there is this other side to the King of Swords. There is an archetype that I've identified with the King of Swords, and that poem touches on it. The thing about the scars is really strong. I mean, I guess when you do tarot, and you do it for years and years and years, you grow into the cards and your meanings, and they grow and the stories grow. And sometimes they probably do deviate quite a bit from the traditional meaning, but then all of the guides have their own take on it. So I tend to go to the astrology of the cards, those correspondences, and I look at that. And then I do look at the imagery on an individual deck. I will read. I don't often read the books, to be honest. I do look at the guidebook if it's an unusual deck. I don't often have theme decks, but if I do, I definitely look at the guidebook. If it's a Rider-Waite one, I don't usually. If it's a fun deck and I really love all the art and everything, I want to look at the guidebook like that. I like the Tarot of Trees. I love the Poet's Tarot. Some guidebooks are incredible. Yeah, that's my take on that poem. That is that need to possess kind of control. So that'll be the King of Swords for now. Let's see what we get with the Lunar Nomad. I was thinking about this the other day, and I wondered if they did it on purpose. When you say Lunar Nomad Oracle, it almost sounds like Lenormand Oracle. Lunar Nomad, Lunar Nomad, Lunar Nomad. Could be saying Lenormand. But I looked through the thing and I couldn't find anything about that, but I just thought that's kind of cool. I've got so much here today. I did enjoy this morning and that little Queen of Cups and doing that thing. It's made me excited because I've got lots of things I want to do with my my videos. I want to share more I really do want to share more about things I've lived through and survived and dealt with and deal with. I want to share more about my garden. Everything in my life kind of relates to each other. It all goes off on tangents and they all end up leading into each other. But I do want to share more, and going out today made me really realise I can do that, but I have definitely got to sort out my camera. I was talking to my sister and I just could not get a photograph, or it's just so broken now. It's getting worse. When you haven't got the wide angle lens and the telephoto lens is iffy, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. It's very difficult, especially taking video if it's not fixed, because it automatically tries to cut into that lens. You have to turn it off and to stop it doing that, and then the videos aren't as good. Okay, so and we have got king, so that's 14. 1, 2, 3, 11, 12, 13. Ta-da! The bouquet. That's a happy card. And I think the bouquet is a sign of celebration. Congratulations. Do you know what I'm seeing there in that bouquet card? I'm seeing this cup and I'm thinking of the Queen of Cups. Where am I going to put that one? I'll move that there. I wonder if you can see it. I'm not very good at this, am I? I've got a lot to learn. You can see that one. So I'll put that one on top of there. There we go. But this is why I'm doing this 30-day challenge, to improve, to get better technique and make things easier. And I'm going to set up a space more permanently, although my daughter's actually stolen the room I was going to do it in for now, but I don't mind. She's welcome to it. And my sister will be moving into the other room that I use, but it's okay. I'll find a space. I'll sort it out, get things more set up. So the bouquet, I know we need to book. Get with the program, Bobby. Get with the program, dude. Okay, number 9, the bouquet. Gifts, offerings, affection, encouragement, happiness, aesthetic. I knew it was a happy card. It is a very nice aesthetic. The curtain parts revealing a bouquet of exuberant. Oh, I don't like the curtain parting. No, that's one of these things I don't want to think about. A bouquet of exuberant blooms, luscious roses burst with soft velvet petals that spill onto the room with sweet and sensuous perfume. I wrote a poem about a bouquet. The atmosphere is grand, elegant fabrics, carved statues, and the blushing flowers of soft canary. Okay, blah blah. Goes on about the bouquet, describes it. Goes on a bit, this book, so I can't read it all. An offering of flowers warms the heart, lifts the spirits. Intoxicating inhalation of flowers is a kiss of love, wooing you deeper. Now, this is amazing. This is why I got this card. In my garden, I've got a magnolia tree. It's a baby one. Well, I only planted it 2 years ago, and it was about not a lot bigger than a plant on my desk. Now it's probably nearly as tall as me. I've been feeding it coffee grinds every day because they like acidic soil. Well, not every day, but when I empty my thing, maybe once a week, I give it a little box full of coffee grinds, and it's so happy where it is. And it's just coming into bloom, and it has got the most stunning, beautiful buds, loads of bloom, and it smells divine. Oh, I cannot describe it. It's just got the most beautiful, beautiful smell. And a friend popped past the other day and said, "Oh, magnolias don't smell." I said, "Well, mine does. I think it's called fairy something." Man, does that smell amazing? But there it is, the smell. So the cards do it again. Accepting a gift as a bouquet can feel like opening a door. You might wonder what motives lie behind such a kind gesture. Well, yeah. Admiration and affection have a way of drawing us out in some instances, but can also cause us to retreat. What intention is behind this offering, and what message are you sending by accepting? Wow, that's interesting. Setting the stage for romance and da-di-da. The bouquet signals a connection you've made. Touching someone on such a deep, intimate level, having that affection be reciprocated is a precious gift. Well, sometimes a bouquet is just an offering, not necessarily setting the stage for romance. Conveys the many facets of love. Well, that's true. It's got agape, which is the unconditional love, and philia, which is the friendship and deep compassion love. And then storge, how do you pronounce that? Is a love we've got for friends and family. And then you've got eros, which is the romantic love. Receiving the gift of bouquet awakens good energy in your life, and you are no longer alone. Someone sees you, loves you, and is wishing you many blessings. Depends on the intent. Celebrate the arrival of goodness in your life with the bouquet you are being given a gift. Expect blessings and gestures of kindness. Look for moments of beauty and be sure to luxuriate in the finer things. While the bouquet blooms glowing and robust, the charm of passion remains. In times of darkness, the bouquet offers light. Melancholy haze will soon fade in the healing aura of the bouquet. Pain and depression are healed with its potent vitality. Well, I think the smell of my magnolia could definitely make you feel better if you're feeling down. If you had the energy in the downness to go and smell it. That's the truth. Make space for your healing, grieve for whatever losses you felt, and let love in. Uninspired days burst into creative genius when the bouquet arrives. Pay attention to the little details, the sweet scents and colours that stand out to you. Allow the bouquet to be an affirmation of love, affection, and goodness in your life. Expect beauty all around you, and it will come. That bit about what intention is behind this offering, that kind of makes me think of the Queen of Swords, the King of Swords, and what I said about the wanting to be in partnership but wanting to possess, and the kind of you giving something that, yeah, what surprise. Maybe I'm just mad, I don't know. So there we have those cards. We've got the bouquet. Right, I'm going to talk about the Queen of Cups today as a continuation of yesterday. And tomorrow I'm going to talk about the house, because the house is so important to me. Having the Queen of Cups by the sea and then the house, and getting those two, well, being by the sea and getting the Queen of Cups of water, and me being there and loving it, and like I've got the card of the Rider-Waite in there to show you, and the house coming up, and I was in this driftwood house. It was just crazy. So I'll just briefly show you some of these. So this is the Queen of Cups from the Divina Tarot, which I think is rather lovely. I very much love that card. I like this one because it's got like the sign of the mysticism, it's got the pentacle, and it's got the crown, it's got the stars for like the being out of this world and like the heavenly kind of stuff. And then it's got the water down below and the cuddling and the shells. Can't see the moon, but the moon will be there somewhere. So I really like that. That's such a gorgeous little deck. So that's that one. And this is the one from the Journey of the Sacred Bee. I do like that card a lot. And again, she's got this beautiful cup and it's got the lid on it. Robert Place has got interesting things to say about the lid and this gorgeous chalice. This one's got wings and fairies, because Pamela Colman Smith was quite influenced by the fairy realm, apparently, because she did spend time in Ireland, I was reading. Although she didn't illustrate this deck, but I'm just saying. All of the illustrations are probably guided by it. They must do quite a lot of research. Or some obviously, some do, some don't. And the Grail Queen in the Arthurian Tarot. The Arthurian Tarot is one of my longest owned decks. I've had that since very young. Since it came out, actually. Long before I had children, so well over 30 years. Over 35 years, I would say, because my oldest daughter is 33. The Grail Queen is Elaine, so I think she's Lancelot's mother. I like this one because it reminded me a bit of coming out of the teepee and the sea being there. She's holding her cup. So that's another Queen of Cups we've got. And then here we've got the Rider-Waite one, which I put in the marker with what Robert Place has to say about it. So we've got, there she is in all her glory. This is my giant Rider-Waite deck, which I thought was good because if I can't zoom in, it doesn't matter. So you see her chalice, how incredible it is. It's pretty amazing. Her crown's quite amazing too. But she's sitting there by the ocean. She's got the Undine, the mermaid thingies there, and her throne. That looks like a big scallop shell behind her. And a little tiny fish there. Well, that reminds me of the Deviant Moon. Is it the Hermit? One of them's got but that's a skeleton fish. There's another card with a fish in Deviant Moon. Oh, there's the Fool. I like that. It's got all the fish leaping out of the water. It's that one. But anyway, there she is. There's the Queen of Cups. I'll put her there. And this is Robert Place, the history, symbolism, and divination, the tarot. The Queen of Cups in the Solabusca Tarot sits in a similar pose in a dolphin throne, intently staring into a chalice. Here, the Queen's throne is placed on the edge of the sea, facing the water. There is a fish line on the ground in the lower right corner. There are waves on her cape, and it has a shell for a clasp. She is no longer, I love this, she is no longer identifying with the messenger from the deep, but with the water itself. Of all the queens, she most exemplifies the act of brooding, but not in the gloomy sense. Her brooding is more like that of a hen when she sits on her eggs, patiently waiting for them to. The queen's throne has a scallop shell carved at the top, supported by two fish-tailed children. These are undines, the elemental spirits of water. Paracelsus, the great alchemist and physician from the 15th, 16th century, Was the first person to identify the living spirits of the four elements, and afterward they became an accepted part of occult lore. When Smith was in Ireland, she had seen elementals and fairies for herself and enjoyed incorporating them into her work. Another Undine talks to a fish on the side of the throne. The Queen's elaborate Gothic chalice has angels flanking it and a lid with a cross on top. These elements identify it as a symbol of the sacred centre. The Queen knows that the centre is in herself. She does not open the cup. The Queen knows it will open on its own, like an egg when the time is right. Meanwhile, she is physically in tune with its contents. This is a symbol of mystery and intuition. I really like that. It does that whole thing about at one when she says she's no longer identifying with the messenger for the deep, but the water itself. I kind of understand what he means by that. It's kind of like a flow. I think it's like flow as we evolve. And I think some people evolve very quickly in the outer world, in the physical world, the mundane, and others evolve in the inner world, and I'm definitely the latter. My youngest is very much more advanced than me in the material world, the mundane world, the earthly world. It's amazing watching how people are. I'm definitely not. So this whole thing about I've always had these deep understandings of things that I can't even put into words. That's why I think I like poetry, because you can use analogy and metaphor, and it's much easier to explain things that way. And the waiting until the time is right, because you can feel it, and you can feel what's in there. It's pretty amazing. I really do like what he said about that car. I definitely feel I have a lot in common with the Queen of Cups. More growing to do as well, and waiting until the time is right. I mean, that's the thing that I learned quite recently. Well, I mean, you learn in layers. I keep saying that. I think I spoke about it recently in one of my videos about waiting until the time is right. When I had to look for a car and everything felt wrong, and if it feels wrong, don't do it. In fact, I think I was talking to Dawn about it today. If it's not the right time, it's not going to happen. It happened with my sister when we were talking about the move and everything, and it all seems overwhelming, and it was just really, really difficult. And I said to her, "Look, it's not right. When it's right, the time will come, and then you get that little nudge, and then it starts to flow. And if it doesn't, there's no point forcing it because the energy is going to be wrong. It's going to take 10 times as long, and it's just not going to work." And my sister was like, the last time I spoke to her, feeling, reluctant. I was saying this to her and, encouraging her rather than saying, "Oh, come on, you got to do it, be all right." I said, "No, just wait because I've learned that lesson. If someone's not ready to do something, there is absolutely no point encouraging them." And then when I spoke to her today, it's so different. It had happened. You'd kind of been nudged into place and she'd listened and things were going and she sounded amazing. And she was encouraging me, like, because I was feeling a bit down about everything. So anyway, I'm going to go. I think today was yesterday's video, and this Queen of Cups stuff is today. I'm getting so much food for thought and so many things I want to do. I need to get another journal. Another journal. Oh yeah. Oh, guess my Hobonichi has been posted, shipped, mailed. So I'll be able to share what I've got for next year, or some of it. A lot of it's for presents. But I'm excited, so that'll be cool. Maybe I'll have one for no, I'll just use one of my old ones because I used to get out of date ones when they were cheap and use them because I love the paper so much in the format, especially the big lists of notebooks and things. If I didn't fill one up one year, I'll just use it. I'm going to get one for my videos and this channel to write down ideas and things because I can't keep everything in my head. The way I am at the moment, it gets loads of bits of paper and loads of notebooks and all over the place, and it's not together. So I need to do it after every video. The things that I say and mention, I need to remember that I've said those and that I'm going to do them. This is all part of the learning journey. So if I have said something and forgotten, and it was something you wanted to know about or see, please remind me. Okay, tomorrow we're going to talk about the house. Thank you for being there once again and all the lovely comments. Bye.